All right. Welcome, everybody, to the day 17 live stream. As you can see, have been working on the trees. It has been tree time for the past day, and I am now going to start on the darker color. Right before I started the stream, I took some black paint and some of this blue paint that I used for the trees, and I mixed it into this wonderful concoction of this nice dark blue paint. So, that is what I'm going to be doing today. I already taped out the areas that I'm going to be currently working on, and then once I go farther to the right, I'm going to be fixing some of the minor sketch mistakes that I have realized I made. Mixing this color was a very, very nerve-wracking process. It always is. Mixing colors is always I'd say, personally, the scariest part of the mural for me. But once I start it, it typically goes just fine. It's really just the uncertainty of how the paint is going to mix in the can. One of the harder parts of doing these trees is that the caps of them, the top of the tree is curved, and so I have to get a little bit of paint on my brush and then like push it outwards slightly, but they're so thin that it's really it gets a little stressful at times. It's very difficult to get that perfect curve. But one thing with these trees that's going to be good for that is I have to go back around, and these little white parts at the bottom of them, I gotta fix them up anyway once I start doing my touch-ups and whatnot. So they will all be fixed. Because when you're doing the outside layer, it's really easy to just curve the brush like that. But with these little inside areas, you gotta kind of like blotch it in. Nice. Tape is very helpful because, especially with these smaller items, because it lets me just continue doing those big brush strokes, but still cover just the area I need to, instead of just everything the brush goes over, which is nice. So I don't have to meticulously go around all the edges, being like, oh no, I'm not gonna go over, because the more paint that I have to put on the outside here, the weirder it might look. So now it is time to fix this stuff up. See, when I was putting this down here, you can see this only has about a 2-3 inch gap between the bottom of this and the top of the next one. And I had to fix that because this white triangle was the original sketch. So I had to bring this down quite a bit. So I'm going to do the same for this one down here. So that there's a little bit more foliage in the lower section of this mural. Here. And then I've been using a sharp or Expo marker, just a black little dry erase marker to make that curve, so that all the curves are the same. Boom. Okay, sketch done for that one. And now keep moving down the line. That is about it. Yeah. I doubt that's going to show up. 7.5. Yeah, it's past that. So that one doesn't look like past here. Almost fell. Well, technically I did fall, but I almost completely fell backwards instead of catching myself. That would have been. All right. Cool. Yay. I did it. The sketch is just about done for all of them. I just need to round off all caps now, and then I should be good to paint. Okay. Nice. Yay. All right, cool. Let's do it. Paint time. My dark paint. This is, oh, wow. That's a fun color. Just picked up the can. Really got to be able to see what color this is, and it's very nice. I like it. Oh, yeah, tape. I stand corrected. No paint yet. I need to tape on this so that I can actually paint that. That's right. Shouldn't take long. Tape. Over the summer, I have been getting better and better at wakeboarding and water skiing. And this last time that I went out on the boat to wakeboard and ski with the family and stuff, I managed to finally get the trick that I've been working on down 100%, which is on top of the wake. So when you're wakeboarding, this like triangle-ish shape, it almost looks like the tail of a whale, sprouts out from the back of the boat. Which is the wake for anybody that doesn't know. And on the two like edges of this wake, it curls over into like these waves, and it basically just makes these two big waves. Well, this trick that I've been trying to do for a while now, and I finally got down, was you bring your board up to the top of one of those peaks, and you flip it around so that your non-dominant foot is facing forward instead of your dominant foot. And then you ride the wake to the other side and you do it again on top of the wake, which is much harder than it seems. And I finally got it down, and it's very, very fun now because I'll be out there and I'll get up and I can do it a few times and fairly well before I ended up falling. But the nice thing about it too is once you get it down, it gives your dominant foot time to rest, so that when you go back for the other switch, you are kind of like you're ready. You're more ready for it because that leg isn't as tired, and it's very, very fun to be out there and you're going side to side and you flip the board and then you start going the other way and you sail in the middle of it for a little bit until you go out on the other side, get on top of that wake, and flip the board, which I used to be able to do it just kind of to the side of it, but now I can do it actually like on top of that wake, and it's very fun. With water skiing, I'm able to cut fairly well across the wake, so just go all the way out to the side, completely out of the wake, and then go back in, and I'm now starting to attempt to jump the wake, which I managed to do once successfully until I ended up falling a few seconds later because I lost my balance a little bit afterward. But I've jumped the wake once successfully, and now I'm going to try to be able to do it consistently. But it's been a lot of fun, that's for sure, going out on the boat, especially when it's this hot out. I mean, down here it's been for the past few days almost 100 degrees. It's very, very toasty and hot, and being able to go out on the water is a nice treat for from taking a break from that heat. Especially when you go out onto the lake and the water is so cold. I mean, you jump in. After a while, you get used to it if you're just sitting in there. But the shock is a very, very nice feeling once you've been sitting on the boat for like 30 minutes just dying of heat. So yeah, that's consisted most of the time for these past few weeks. We go out on the boat. When I get home from either painting this or on the weekends especially, we'll be out there all day on the lake, just boating, and it's been a lot of fun. All right, and that is at the halfway mark, so I'm almost done. Then I'll be able to put this absolutely magical color of blue on here. I am very, very happy with the outcome. I was before I started this stream, I was sitting over here with a can of black paint, a can of blue paint. I dumped a bunch of blue paint in there. I'm like, okay, that's the base. And then I would take the stir stick for the black paint and slowly drizzle in the black paint, because I get super nervous when mixing these colors. Mainly because I'm colorblind, but and like I'm trying really hard. I have like the reference photo to the left of me. I've got my paint to the right of me, and I'm like just like glancing back and forth, like, okay, is this a good shade of blue? But I got it down. I think I did a really good job, which is nice to say, because it was very stressful in the moment. Once I started adding black paint, though, and I saw kind of how it darkened, it got a lot easier to tell, like, okay, if I add this much more, it's going to get this dark, and I was using this sponge. I had the base color, and then every time I made a new shade, I would put it over here and slowly darken it until I got it to a position that I liked. So that was also really helpful to see the dried finishes for each color. Made it a lot easier to determine how much more black paint I need to add. As I've been doing these trees, and there was some other tape elsewhere on the wall, the ball of tape has gotten larger and a lot heavier. Not so heavy that I can't hold it by any means, but it's definitely quite a bit heavier. It's very, very fun seeing the my ball of tape just slowly get bigger and bigger. It's great. Actually, it's right here. Check this thing out. Look at that. I'm gonna attempt to bring this to every mural gig that I get from now on, until it is too big where I cannot hold it in my hands, either due to its size or its weight. But this has been a lot of fun. Okay. Okay. Nice. Right, I will be right back. This has started to get really thick. So I am going to go wash this, and then I will be able to start on the paint. So I will be right back. I have returned with a nice clean brush ready to paint the paint on the wall. As soon as I fix that piece of tape, I want to apply. Okay, now it's painted. Let's do it. You know, something that I will say has been very, very fun is the opportunities that I've had to take as many silly little photos and just kind of like dump all of my like weird, like just the most interesting ideas that I can into the photos for this mural. And that I use for the thumbnails of these live streams as well. It has been quite the fun experience, especially with the different, just like I will stand right here. I say, okay, time for me to take the photo before I start the stream. What do I want to do? And I'll just look at all of my supplies. I'll come up with something depending on if I'm listening to like, some music or, podcast or something. Or if I'm just like, okay, I want to just do some like really weird, like, oh my gosh, I thought of this like an hour ago and I kind of want to do this for the photo thing. And and then I just can. And it's great because after playing around with them for a little bit and then just being able to like spit all of these weird random ideas onto here and mess around with angles and making sure that it captures both the mural and whatever I might be doing in the photo. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that I've been able to have not only the creative freedom to come up with the art for this and paint this, but also be able to mess around with a little bit of kind of like photography. I wouldn't call it choreography, but just posing for like different photo ideas and just being able to explore all those different branches of just fun little ideas and stuff. So on top of that, the process of creation for my YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and all of my little short videos that I've been making, I have really learned how to use the editing software that I'm using, not just the software, but just the process of editing a video as well. It's been very good for me. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very interesting, and it's nice that I've been being able to start making like I guess a name for myself and being able to put my work out here, but also have a ton of fun doing it. It has been a very, very fun and entertaining and nice experience. So yeah. On a side note, it is really freaking hot in this room. It is the air is thick. I don't know how else to say it. Very humid in here. It is not the best experience for having to do this stuff. That's for sure. It's makes you very very tired, um, and not like I want to go to sleep tired, but like it's just that heat exhaustion. And anybody that either lives in this kind of heat or has experienced it before, y'all know what I'm talking about. It is just draining. I don't know if this is true or not, but something that I think I've been starting to notice is the hotter that it is in this room, the longer it takes for the paint to dry, which is, I guess for me, in the upfront, is very helpful, um, because when I'm putting the paint on here, it's very easy to just move around, and like if I like accidentally slip up or go outside the lines or anything, it's really easy to just take my thumb or something and just kind of wipe that off, and not have to use one of the large erasers that I have or anything. The only downside that I see to it, however, is when I want to go in for my second coat, if I'm trying to do it in the same day, it I kind of can't because the paint takes longer to dry. Um, and like I said, I don't know if that's 100% true or not, but it seems, at least to me, like when it's hotter out, it takes longer for this paint to dry. Possibly because it keeps it almost like melts the paint. But the same counter argument could go for no because the heat lets it dry faster. Um, but I'm not quite sure, so I will have to possibly look that up. After this mural is done, I I'm looking forward to what I will be able to post after this because once this is done, before the next mural gig or whatnot comes up, I'm gonna have a good amount of time to be able to post other things, including my own personal art or just like other stuff not related to this, I guess. And so it will be very fun to show you all some other stuff outside of this that I work on, and share a little bit of my outside artiste life with you guys. So look forward to some of that in the future. That is for sure. Very excited to be able to share with you guys um, some stuff that I am working on, plan to get out there possibly for you guys. You never know. Depends on how the dice are rolled, what cards are handed to me. But I'm definitely looking forward to the future. It's gonna be great. School is coming up though, so that's gonna be a thing. I'm curious because once the next mural opportunity comes up for me, which I'm counting on being soon, sooner than later at least, I I am hoping that I will be able to do it during the school year because for the past three I have done them obviously you can see during the summer when the schools aren't filled with children and or teenagers depending on what school I'm at. And it gives me a lot more time to just kind of work on it without any outside distractions. But what I would like to do so that I can get more of them done is be able to do them during the school year. So it is going to be a very interesting experience to see how I'm going to be able to juggle that along with school. I am confident that I will be able to fairly well. You got to have confidence in some things, Otherwise, you just can't. I mean, it's interesting. Confidence is one of those words where it's like it can mean different things in certain scenarios. Although it covers one general meaning, but I'd say be confident about a lot of things, no matter how anxious you are. Which for me personally is quite a few things all at once. But staying positive helps you get stuff done. It's in my opinion, one of my best medicines. I know for some people out there, it's either hard to have that, or it's just it maybe not be the best solution for them. But being happy is happy. It's good. I works fairly well for me. The happier I stay, I found it very motivating for me. However, different moods can also inspire different kinds of art that I do. So sometimes it's good to have that little variety. I don't know, just kind of spitballing a bunch of little random. This is what I call my brain juice, and it is currently leaking out of my brain. So enjoy that, guys. Here's a fun little thing. There for any artists out there, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And for any non-particular artists out there, um, you might also relate to the other side of the story. But there, every so often, when I'm showing my stuff to people or whatnot, who have either a lack of artistic talent or just don't draw or whatever. There's always that fun comment of wow, I can barely draw a stick figure, and things like that, and it's always been slightly confusing as to why that's such a common response because I mean I guess I might understand if it's a way to like make the person that's showing their art feel better about themselves, like wow, like at least I can do this and not draw stick figures. But also, it's like if if it's due to a lack of will or to not want to draw, like, and that's more likely than not, or more often than not, what it is. Especially with so, like, people that I've heard that comment from, like, even if they do other things, not drawing kind of art, but other kinds of art, that comment is always like, yes, you say that, but is that like how is that relevant? Because if you don't want to draw, or that's not something that you want to acquire, then how meaningful is that comment? Because you know that'd be different if, like, a younger kid came up to you, because obviously they're still learning or gaining the they're still learning how to draw, or they're getting the hang of their bearings, or they might be new at it. But if it's just not something you're interested in, then, like, there's really no relevance in that, um, because it has no impact towards your life. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's like someone who isn't he goes up to a mechanic and, like, yeah, I don't know what the kind of wrenches are, but have I ever done mechanic work before, or have I ever needed or wanted to use these different types of tools? Like, no, there's no point in stating the fact that you just I don't know. It's always been an interesting concept to me. Um, so yeah. Anyway, if you ever find yourself starting to say that, maybe rethink it. Maybe come up with a better, you know, uh, what am I trying to say? Answer, or start of a conversation. Because if you can't draw, but you also don't want to draw, then, like, it is what it is. They don't need to necessarily know that, because it doesn't it doesn't bring any more value to your status or your life or whatever, then you know but if you were to say, I can't draw very well right now, but if you want to learn, like, but I want to learn it, are there any tips or tricks, or other things, instead of, and if you're using that, like, dang, you're really good at drawing, I can barely draw a stick figure, you're like trying to lift them up, maybe think of some better ways. Because stating that you can't draw a stick figure is not the best. Like, oh my gosh, you're so good, or things like that. It can be a little goofy at times, but I don't know. One of the things. Okay, that went by a lot faster than I thought it would. Coolio. Well, see, while that's drying, it is. I have two choices. I could either start on the top trees, which I really want to do, or I could finish that inner little triangle piece first, which I might end up actually doing. Or I could start on all the second coats for this inner landscape area. However, while I take my time to plan out my next line of action, I unfortunately must let you guys go. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.